Last week on Pokemon Cooked League, the Jake Gambits was not able to survive the consistent offensive pressure of the Ironheart Iron Hands despite the pivoting in the attempts to lower its damage output, while the Turtonators' trickery, including Weather Change, Self Crate, and Little Trick Room, was not able to take out the goofy Genesect Kartana. Both these players don't want to start 0-2, but it has to happen to one of them. The question is, who will it be? Welcome back! I'm glad you're here. And for week 2, we have the Turtonators versus the J Gambits. When I'm looking at these mons, I I think Pelipper is honestly in a really good spot for several reasons. One, there's no easy way to get rid of rain. And two, even outside of just being a rain merchant, I think it just has a lot of value here. It's got Hurricane, which threatens the Scrafty. We've got Weather Ball to threaten the Incineroar. There's also just like not water resist on this team. So clicking like Weather Ball or Hydro Pump or anything like that. This is a general, very fairly safe thing to do. There's no also like immediate rock and electric type attackers. Like obviously there's coverage like Garchomp Rock Slide, but it also has some pretty decent defensive value and also decreasing damage output of something like Incineroar or Flare Bloods. And another one I want to bring up on this side is the Dracovish. I think the Dracovish is in a very awkward spot here. One, because multiple Intimidate users, and two, is that even though this team on the Jake Gambit side is generally not faster, there's just a good amount of priority on the side. There's Sucker Punch on King Gambit, there's Bullet Punch on Scizor, there's the two Fake Out users, and it Ditto's Choice Scarf. And that would also make Vicious, all these ways to basically slow down Vicious Ren. And speaking of the Ditto, I think this is a very interesting, I think a potential very scary Pokemon. It kind of is a kind of a counter to like something if you wanted to try to get like super set up with our Chaladon, with Electro Shots, or like, things get out of hand. So that's just something that the Turtonators need to worry about. And yeah, I think the Garchomp is also just kind of important, mostly just because it's like the only mon that it outruns like this entire team naturally of like 102 base speed. So with your team where that's just kind of slow, just having just one mon that's faster, I think is pretty important. Now looking for leads, I think ridding Pelipper is fairly safe here, and it's like what do you want to go with Pelipper? I don't like sending an Archaladon just yet. I kind of want to save it a little bit if possible, just so I could be in a spot where like the Ditto doesn't just like run away with the game or anything like that. And just like it's just kind of expected. It's like something that did lead off, maybe like Lurantis or something. And on the other side, I think leading one of the Intimidate Fake Out users is like kind of not an issue for me. And just like what would you just need something to do, whatever is best to Pelipper, I think, which might be Garchomp if you have rock coverage. Garchomp also definitely gets rock coverage, but let's get this match started. All right, so we learned a couple things here. One, the Zapdos is Adrenaline Orb. This isn't a shock to me. To get Turtonators talk to me about potentially running Adrenaline Orb on Zapdos, getting the extra speed boost, which is nice, but it's in this scenario the speed boost isn't actually that helpful. Zapdos outspeeds everything to begin with. Leading off with King Gambit is, I'm not gonna say bad, but it's definitely a little awkward leading off with a mon like this. If you were Defiant, which is definitely more than a viable ability and the ability you usually see in VGC, it's actually leading off with Gambit's like fine because you get the Defiant boost off of like Intimidate. Oh, none of the, and oh, this is not okay. I'm sorry. I'm like the Crocodile Intimidate. No, it's not Intimidate. Okay, right, because it's so this is either Moxie or Anger Point. I'd be very surprised if it's Anger Point again. I don't think you need to do self crit stuff, but yeah. So maybe he just didn't want to be Intimidate just for the potential. So maybe the King Gambit is Defiant. The fact that it's leading, actually, I changed my mind. I think this is Defiant. So sorry about that. But yeah, this is a pretty awkward spot, I'd say. The Zapdos could threaten with like Hurricane on the Scrafty, especially if you switch into a rain user, then click Hurricane. The Scrafty does pretty well against the Crocodile. The King Gambit is just not in that good of a spot. It's not in a terrible spot because just stats are just so good. But it gets threatened by something like a Crocodile, like ground type move, or like just an Earthquake. So yeah, Fake Out seems like pretty safe here. You know, as much as I would like Drain Punch or like Close Combat, the Crocodile, you're just not. You would have to do that with like probably something defensive with the King Gambit, which is like Upper Tact or like a switch. So I don't mind faking out here, which I did actually explain is going to happen. And then Zapdos, I don't think you need to like do anything fancy. I wouldn't mind like doing something just like clicking Hurricane is hoping you land, because I don't think you definitely don't need Tailwind yet or anything like that. And this King Gambit, it really just depends what you don't. If you want to like fake out like the Crocodile, which you see like Sword Stance or something, I wouldn't mind that. We got Rock. Okay, we do see the Tailwind immediately, and I'm not gonna say it's bad to do that, but I do think it's a bit premature. You could have. Your runs are already faster, so that's one thing. And two, if you're worried, you could always do it later. So like, let's say the Garchomp comes out like 4 turns later when the tail, like as the Tailwind expires. Like you just kind of costed yourself a turn of a potentially actually useful Tailwind. Like maybe you could have done something like maybe click Hurricane, hope you land on the Scrafty, that would good damage. Or if you're scared of missing, click like T-Bolt or like something. Yeah. But now the King Gambit is in it's definitely in an awkward spot where like, yeah, the Sword Stance is nice. It definitely is. But the Crocodile at -1 is still going to do decent damage with the ground type attack. Like, maybe you just like switch it to Incineroar, intimidate it again, and then you can start attacking with the King Gambit. I wouldn't be surprised if the King Gambit's running something like Low Kick as one of its attacks, because just for fighting coverage against Child and the Crocodile, it wouldn't be crazy to me. But yeah, you gotta. I think it'll eat a ground type attack fairly well. Zapdos can do decent damage to King Gambit, but probably not even like threat to a KO. King Gambit's so bulky. And you're probably just gotta. I'm probably just starting to just target this King Gambit down, try to kill it over too. And if it protects, I don't think that's big of a deal. It's like, I mean, the Scrafty could Drain Punch, but like, I'm not that upset if it Drain Punches Crocodile. That may be stupid, or Close Combat. Dude, this should take this fairly well. Oh, I took that so well. And we're a high jump kick. That is a daring move to ever run in doubles because of the potential to protect, but yeah. 22%. I mean, I know it's -1 and Scrafty is fairly bulky, but 22% surprised me. I thought it would do like, I don't know, like 30. But yeah. This is let's see, the decision to just protect the King Gambit and just attacking the Crocodile, I'm definitely paying off huge here. I definitely was I just don't understand Thunder Waving here. You're already, like, I know there's paralysis turns, like, you can scam turns with paralysis, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, this thing's already gonna be the slowest mon in the game, unless Sucker Punch, then Sucker Punch, that doesn't matter. Like, if you are gonna Thunder Wave, like, I don't know. Like, Thunder Wave and Tailwind just seems like way too much Oko. And then if you're running Protect, you're only running one attack, which is, like, Thunderbolt, or, like, maybe Hurricane. I'm starting to think this doesn't have Hurricane, but like, you have Rain. I mean, maybe you ditch Thunderbolt, but like, I don't know. Thunderbolt's just kind of just for something for King Gambit. I don't know. Maybe you ditch Thunderbolt, but I don't know. If you have Hurricane, I think it was much better to just Hurricane the Scrafty. Yeah, the Crocodile goes down, and the potential biggest offensive threat to the to King Gambit's now gone. So that could be bad. And so like, what are you sending now? It's tough to say. I mean, our Chowdon can body press it, and that could threaten to Oko. And I'm sure the Jake Gambit would be ready for something like that. You could do Dracovish. Then you have to worry about Sucker Punch, so that's not great either. Lurantis also has close superpower, but they may be ready for that. So, I mean, you maybe just have to, like, none of these feel that great with the fact that Terror exists and Sucker Punch exists. We're just gonna go with Dracovish. Okay. Yeah. So, Sucker Punch is a pretty free click here. Dracovish, I don't think it's Choice Scarf at this point because you have Tailwind and Thunderwave. Why are you reading so much speed control? And also, Dracovish just naturally outruns everything on the team besides Garchomp. So I don't think it is, but Fish just runs to be a giant delete button. I'm pretty sure both sides know that, so. And just what do you do against that? This +2 Sucker KO Dracovish? Maybe. I don't know, actually. It may depend on, like, threads and, like, items. If you're, like, black glasses, that might be enough, but... Yeah. I don't think Dracovish is that bulky. But you are in a spot where... I don't think this Scrafty is in a good spot. Like, I think it's done its job. Like, I'm not saying... When I say that, it sounds like I'm sacking it. But, like... Maybe you want to start positioning, but maybe you even just like do try to like sack this because like nothing feels. Like, you could set it like Incineroar, try and intimidate Dracovish. I think it's Clear Amulet from sources, meaning get Turtonators. But yeah, setting Incineroar in feels a little goofy when it's giant water type. But if you're trying to Sucker Punch, it's just like if your goal is to try to Sucker Punch a Dracovish and KO it, then like. You're trying to just find something to do better against Zapdos, which maybe it's just Garchomp at that point because the Tailwind's gonna expire. Like you can Sucker Punch next turn, double protect, and then you have Garchomp to outspeed Zapdos without the Tailwind anymore, which is what I was alluding to earlier about the relevant turns of actual Tailwind happening. But yeah, how do you deal with King Gambit? That's really the issue. Maybe you have a Terra that can help. Maybe your Dracovish is somehow like a Terra that can resist Dark. I don't know. So, yep, Sucker Punch just KOs. And we have Damp, and we do knock off the Damp Rock. Yeah, which is why I was a little suspicious of Dracovish. I'm not saying any of the switch-ins were, like, great here because of Terra and, like, you know, the quick fighting type move just isn't going to work. But, yeah, it felt like kind of just, like, I hope he messes up type play, and he doesn't. We do have the, we do know we have 8 turns of Rain. And we have, one more turn of Tailwind. The good news about this is that, like, our Chowdon can come out. And do something like you want to, like, try to double protect some, like, Rain or Tailwind turns off. But then Electro Shot just, like, starts powering up. But with the Electro Shot, you also have to think about, you know, if the Electro Shot in the King Gambit doesn't protect, then you're getting hit by something. Maybe a Sucker Punch. Maybe, my guess is like something. Wait, Low Kick's not even that good against the Chargons. It's not even that light, but no. Fighting type coverage for the Crocodile and the Archaudon just seemed to be good. Just Steel as an attacking type seemed pretty bad here. Yeah, the Archaudon is going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Terror here. The Terra Flying is not that uncommon. Terra Ghost isn't uncommon. Probably the best one for him is like Terra Ghost. It's just no Dark type anymore. Because that'll make you immune to Body Press, and it won't make you to something weak to like Hurricane. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good time to Terra. And I think it really just depends what your King Gambit is, because if it is a low kick, like your low kick probably just KOs here, and Yeah, you could try to double protect, like, style Tailwind, but, like, I don't think the Tailwind really matters. You're gonna be slow no matter what. So, like, you double protect, you kind of, like, make your next turns more predictable. So I think you just kind of click buttons here instead of just being too defensive. And who knows if this thing can even protect. It may be Assault Vested. We don't know. The only damage it took was an Earthquake and just, like, Self-Rocky Helmet. But you gotta find a way to neutralize this King Gambit. And I don't know if he plays this J Gambit plays this, I don't know if that's really possible. Yep, there's the Terra Ghost. We are biting. That did not even half. No burn. Knock off. Okay. Knock off. Oh, yeah, knock off because of Natdax. The Chowdon does live, which is nice. Tailwind is going to expire, which is less nice. But, like, this is a worthwhile trade for the King Gambits. You got this. You're basically, once you take out these 2 mons that are 1-tap, you're gonna be like, what, a 2 against 4? And since the Tailwind is gonna expire, you can, like, what you can do is, like, next turn double Pelipper. Does not get. The reason why you double Pelipper is to make sure that that doesn't click Tailwind. And then next turn you can, like, go into Garchomp. Garchomp can just click buttons to be faster and just start to kind of clean up this game at this point. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad here. The defense boost when you're at, and now you know the King. This is Assault Vest, so you know this can't protect. So you can just KO this whenever you feel like it. Essentially, Sucker Punch that works too. I think it's gonna get KO'd, but this is looking pretty too little, too late here. Okay, we're gonna send in Scissor. That's fine. You know, you got rid of their Chowdon, which is the main reason why I wanted the Garchomp out. But you already got rid of it, so that's completely fine by me. Bullet Punch. May KO Pelipper. It might not. I don't know. Let's see. The thing is like, you may have to, like, you're probably gonna have to double King Gambit here. Electro Shot hits harder than +1 Electro Shot probably hits harder than a Thunderbolt from Zapdos. Could be Hurricane, which would maybe hit harder, but yeah. I don't know. If you think no, feel like the Bullet Punch is kind of KO, you can just, like, Bullet Punch like Pelipper and just like an attack into Zapdos. I don't want to, like, click like Sucker just in case, like, Tailwind goes off or something like that, but, like, maybe I'm just getting paranoid over nothing here. Bullet Punch is not KO. That wasn't even that close. And yet this thing is going to kill something. Well, not kill, but get it so low to where mashing Bullet Punch should basically be enough to, like, finish this game off at this point. If Bullet Punch KOs Zapdos, I'd rather Bullet Punch Zapdos just for potential Tailwind, but I don't know, you just Bullet Punch Sucker Punch. Bullet Punch Sucker Punch at this point. Probably until the game ends. Yep. You can get Tailwind. Okay, we're trying to Uber scam, but you're gonna need a lot of work here because Lurantis, I don't think has enough in it, especially if eventually this it does have contrary, so the Intimidate would actually work against it, so maybe this can get something done. No, that just KOs. You get a full paralysis, superpower, does a little bit. And another bad thing is just, like, if this Ditto will just copy all the stat boosts. Another full paralysis. Okay, we have U-turn. Okay, that does a lot of damage here, which probably was too much for even to learn, like, a stupid Lurantis to make up for. Okay, we're not Assault Vest, so maybe we have something. Are we gonna get another full paralysis? We are. All right. How many more do you need for this to be enough? Okay, I'm starting. This could technically be Focus Sash, but the fact that he's willing to, like, just get an attack hit by it makes me think this is just Ray Scarf. There we go. We finally get the Sucker Punch off. Did he ever use Terra here? Did neither player use Terra here? Oh, no. Jake Gambit did. But yeah, that was a pretty dominant win here. I think the, once the, Scrafty the Crocodile got knocked out, it just kind of felt like the game was, like, already close to, like, over. You know, I just think the, I don't like the Thunder Wave on the first attempt of Thunder Wave. It just felt like you were just trying to, like, not make tangible progress and try to, like, get lucky on progress when you could have, I don't know, either try to Hurricane the Scrafty, or, like, even if it does protect, like, I felt like Thunderbolt doing, like, I don't know, 30% to it would have been more useful. But yeah, that's the power of King Gambit with the lead, it being the exact opposite of what happened last time. The Defiant King Gambit against me. But that's all for now. And congrats to the King Gambits for getting the board. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.